Welcome back everybody to With Antone MotoGP 2025, and we've just had the Hungarian MotoGP. Yeah, on a track that, I really don't know about this track going forward. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go forward, but we've had 76 years of Grand Prix racing. This is the 75th different track. And what do we see? We see a track with no data. So what does that mean? It means the guys with the real talent, the natural talent to race a bike, really come forward. So of course, you've got Marc Marquez, you've got Pedro Acosta, you've got Bez, and you've got Jorge Martin coming from 14th up to 4th position. So that's pretty amazing. And this is 7 wins in a row for Marc Marquez, second time in his career that he's done it. And I think this puts Bez 3 podiums in a row, which is the first time he's ever done that. But in my view, the circuit, Balaton Park, it's not up to MotoGP standard, and it's small, it's tight, it's got the 3 chicanes, and the bikes look physically too big. Look, we saw great racing in Moto3 and Moto2, but for me, this is not a Grand Prix circuit. The bikes look compact, it looks small on the TV, everything felt a little bit regional about it. Look, you had Bastianini's crash, where he crashed at the chicane and he went across and into the flow of traffic. Now, we know that that causes trouble. If a rider gets struck by another bike, then that can be, potentially fatal. We don't need this in the sport. And we saw Acosta have the huge crash. The bike bounced up in the air, and the poor cameraman seeing this bike 10 meters in the air heading towards him. I mean, where is the safety fences? I don't understand exactly what is going on there. We had 5 crashes in the Grand Prix. Now, these guys are great riders, so why are we seeing so many crashes? And I think Dorna and Liberty really, okay, they got paid quite handsomely to take the race there. I understand it's going to be back there next year, but we'll see what the Safety Commission has to say. But really, there's a couple of requirements that we need. We asked the question last week, what about good racing? Well, you need a good track. And at that track, you need spectators. Now, I think there was less than 40,000 people at the circuit. And you need people to switch the TV on and get excited about what's happening. Now, I haven't seen the viewership on this, but this race did not really tick those boxes. The second thing is you need good technical rules to keep the bikes, close together. And the third component on that is tyres. Of course, tyres are critical. But what did we get? We didn't, the technical rules, we've got some questions over that this year. We've got stability control, but we've still got ride height. And the tyres, well, we haven't got Michelin putting their new tyre forward for next year because Liberty Dorna would not, get the riders to test the bike. So we're failing on all 3 counts here for the Balaton Park, and I think that's a little bit of a problem. Now, while we're talking about failing, Mr. Go Free, Pecco Bagnaia, he's still having exactly the same problems. Let's go all the way back to the start of the season. Let's go back to Thailand, to Doha, to those circuits. I mean, Doha was a turning point for him. He's traditionally strong there. They're not going to solve this problem. They're not going to solve it. I hear that they did a radical change to his setup at Hungary. Normally, when you tweak a MotoGP bike in terms of ride, height, what you might do with the front forks or with position of the seat, all these small things, you're talking about millimeters of change. Well, what I hear in his debrief is that he was changing his settings by more than a centimetre. Now, that is a huge change. Apparently, they made him sit a little taller on the bike, and that seems to help him. But really, radical setups, it's really, he's got no fix there. I don't think there's a fix for Pecco Bagnaia. I think it's something to do with the engine on the 2025 bike that doesn't agree with him. And I don't think they're going to be able to solve this. So he has to go into mitigation mode. Now, MotoGP is so competitive. What do you need to be doing? Well, the first thing you need to be doing is, okay, you can maybe have a bad season. You're a 2-time world champion, but you can't have 2 bad seasons in a row. So he's going to have to come up with a plan on how he can get through this year. Not start criticizing everybody, stay as mentally positive, and then start to focus on what he's looking for next year. The 2025 Ducati was Marc Marquez's goal. And funny how he's got to what he thought would be the best bike, but it's proving not to be the best bike. He's the best rider. He's got an amazing talent. He can absolutely do anything. I so enjoyed watching him sit behind Bezzecchi and just the lines, the analysis he was doing. And then he set Bezzecchi up, tried him the first time, realized, okay, let's go again. And then he actually got past. But watching that execution when he decided to go through, and it's a long, long season this season, and Marc Marquez is doing it better than anybody else. I mean, you know, it is still, we have still got eight races, I think that is, to go. And he's doing it, and he has got, I don't think he's flat out. Let's be real here. We are seeing a master at work, and I believe that he is absolutely doing it easily. You know, the KTMs and the Aprilia are getting closer, but they're not going to get close to Marc Marquez. Ducati are lucky to have Marc Marquez. Otherwise, they might be in a little bit of a difficulty. And again, we'll have to wait and see what they're going to run next year. So the race overall for me wasn't the greatest spectacle. I have some genuine fears, as I said, about the circuit. I don't know what your thoughts are. And I don't know what's happening with Yamaha. I mean, did Jack Miller look like a guy crashing twice who's got the security of a contract? I don't know what Yamaha are trying to do, unsettling and not making decisions. There's a rumor he signed. Has he signed or has he agreed? Is it signed? Are we announcing? Who knows on that? The story is actually becoming a little bit, it's going round and round in circles, and I don't think it's actually proving too much. So anyway, what did you think of the Balaton Park, the Hungarian round 14? Do you think the circuit is up to the standard that we need? Do you think it actually provided the spectacle that MotoGP needs? Liberty Media spent over 4 billion euros on this sport. They're serving up that. I mean, who and where has ever seen a go-kart with 300 horsepower? That's what we're asking these bikes to do. These bikes can't change direction, you know, on a dime, and that's why Bastianini was so lucky. Anyway, I appreciate you watching this week. Drop your thoughts down below about what you thought of the race and what you think the future might be for the Hungarian race. And I look forward to seeing your comments. And if you've enjoyed today, then give it a thumbs up. All right, I really appreciate you watching for this week. Okay, bye for now.